I'm gonna do that when you do it though.
You ain't got your mic on, shawty. Hey, what's up, y'all? Oh, they can't see us. Huh? What's that doing?
I'm not good with my situation. Hey family, we see you logging in and on YouTube, and as usual, we on CPT. And my husband
I thought I had this thing on point.
Is trying to get it right because y'all can't see us. Can you hear us okay? If you can hear us, let us know. Do not knock my wine over, brother.
I won't.
Please. The wine is therapeutic. It's a part of my therapy. Psych. Oh, can you see us? I don't think you can see us because we don't see that you see us. Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, Gary?
Gary, we see your comment. I don't know what's going on. How you say my aunt? What's going on, my brother?
I don't know if I did something to
it. Take that off. Why are you using that?
Nah, because that was working.
It's not lit up. Y'all be patient with us. Now we got more people logging on. We see you. Look at y'all. Y'all done already put some likes on the video for us. And
we ain't even start yet.
We ain't even start. We trying to figure out how to be seen because my husband.
Why you gotta blame it on me?
Because it is you. It's all you. It ain't me. I'm sitting here waiting patiently like everybody else. Like, what's going on?
What's going on? 1 second, y'all.
But for those of you who can hear the sound of my voice, you are in for a treat this evening. Some of you may be like, really? What's going on tonight? What are we talking about? We are talking about 5 ways you let religion limit your relationship. I promise you that this will not be a blind session this evening. You will not just be listening in the dark the whole time. As soon as my husband gets a healing to this daggone machine, come on, we talk about religion tonight, then we can get started. What's going on, LaWanda? We see you. We got more people logging in now, 14 and 15, and people are coming on in. So as you come in the room, go ahead and drop in the comments where you are viewing from. Where are you viewing? Look, messing around with you.
All right, we about to get it together.
All right. Okay, so look at my sis here. Says, my husband and I never allow religion to hinder us. All right. Okay.
All right, we got it. So
you was messing up?
Yeah, I was messing up.
Yeah, you was messing up. So now you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we get ready to see you, YouTube.
What's up, y'all?
Hey! So we are coming to you live here on this Thursday night. And my husband, he be having issues.
I be having issues?
And you still got an issue because I still don't see.
Hold up, let us know if y'all can see us.
Can you see us this evening on YouTube, y'all? All right. You say you hear us. All right. But y'all don't see us, do you? What's going on here? Are you saying my aunt?
That's interesting.
Do we need to get off and get back on? We hate that we got y'all on here, but something ain't right. We also see you on Zoom. You've logged in, and we see some people logging in on Zoom. We appreciate that y'all, y'all work with us. Because my husband be having us working. And he be having y'all working to be patient. So just think about that. We're here to help you with your patience. Here to help you with your patience.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we go. We are on, and we're gonna go ahead and stream live
on Facebook.
Facebook. So we're here. You're here. You're here this evening. Hello and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
This right here is my fabulous husband, Ayize.
This right here is my amazing wife, Iana.
Oh, thank you, Boo. Am I really amazing?
You really are.
How amazing? On a scale of 0 to 10.
So amazing.
You're not trying to give a number?
I'm gonna give you a 15.
Oh, okay, 15. Okay. So, hey, Annalisa, yeah, honey, pray for us. Keep us in prayer so that we get out of the CPT.
She said, there we go.
Out of the CPT moments.
And we was doing good all the way up until like 8:55. You don't think so?
No. You can slice it if you want, but not really. That's all right. We are here this evening, and again, this is my husband. I am his wife. We are licensed therapists out of the DMV, the DC metro area. We are relationship coaches, and we don't just do this just because it's our job and just because it's a part of how we feed our family. When I say this, I mean help couples, I mean counsel couples, do workshops, speak to folks, and come here and rap and connect with all of you. We don't just do it because it really is how we feed our family, but because we're called. And so anybody who's ever had a calling in any way, in any place, you know what we're talking about.
Travis said CPT.
CPT, Travis, you already know.
Shout out to CPT.
No shout outs.
No shout outs?
We're trying to get CPT under control.
Trying to get a healing.
But you just got to be patient. Maybe we get a healing tonight as we talk about 5 ways you let religion limit your relationship. Maybe we can get a healing this evening.
But before we get started, though, you know what we got to do.
Oh, yes.
You know what we got
I almost cried. Oh. Y'all hear that? Hold up. Who's from the DMV?
Y'all let us know who is this right here.
Listen.
Let us know who this is right here.
Oh, it's too loud. You want to feel it?
I do. It ain't too loud.
Look at y'all little DC Go-Go. Oh!
Yeah. Y'all know who this is? What y'all drinking on tonight?
Yes.
Check it out now.
I'm trying to crank that thing up.
It comes too loud over when you.
I'm trying to crank it up though. You got some people at home right now that's trying to party. You trying to pump it down. I'm trying to pump it up.
DC, Maryland. Hey.
Go ahead and share this video right here.
Hold up.
You ain't too hot, babe?
Shut up.
Uh-huh.
I had to do that for a second.
Yes, indeed. In the back. Hey, y'all, we coming up on Thanksgiving? You know what this song is all about, y'all.
Hey, they might not know.
You may not have a car at all. Jerome for Marty Mark.
All right, Kyle, it said, miss that DC beat. Represent. You already know. If you're not from the DC metro area, this how we just call go-go. Go-go, right? This that old
still
school.
Stand tall.
You can still stand tall. Hold up, we about to come up on Thanksgiving. What does it say?
Just be thankful, y'all.
Just be thankful for what you got.
For what you got.
All right, we gotta do the video. We gotta keep going.
Hold on. Let's let this ride. Yeah. You may not have a car at all. Diamond in the back, sunroof top. They're gonna sing with the gangster lean.
Ooh.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and shift now into the topic that we're talking about tonight.
Yes, Maisha said, she said that. This is my husband right here, y'all. She said that go-go music brings her back home to her college days in VA. That's right. If you know anything about the DMV, you know this is the home of go-go. And that's how we get down here. And I don't care what age you are, you can reminisce and you can identify if you've been in this area for just a little bit of time with go-go music. So shout out to your roots.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we are talking this evening. You still got the thing up. We're talking this evening about 5 ways that you let religion limit your relationship. We do ask, and I saw that some people did this already. We do ask that you share this video, share it to your page, tag somebody in it, somebody that you think may benefit. Because we don't just do this again just because. We do it because we want to be able to spread a message and we want people to be able to dialogue and think about things that perhaps, you've not thought about before. So go ahead and share the video. We saw that some folks, Devontae back in the house. Hey, Devontae. Folks.
Somebody on YouTube said back, y'all. Now that was subtle thoughts right there.
Subtle thoughts. He said, where's that red essence? Yes.
He said, let it ride. I'm jamming.
You know what? Why this right here? Are we in the wrong situation?
Oh, man.
Who is these people?
Are you serious?
Hold up, y'all.
Maybe that's what the issue was.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. My husband be doing this all the time. Did you log in on our son's YouTube joint? Who are these people?
But hold up, though.
Okay, whatever. I'm continuing. Just leave it. Anyway, y'all, we always confused, and that's okay.
Nah, these are people up top here.
Well, it is what it is.
I don't understand why.
All right, we need to move on. People, we need to move on.
I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so let's get busy, y'all. So today, y'all, 5 ways in which you let religion limit your relationship.
And this is really important. So for those of you who are listening and really want to get something of value, I really do encourage you to, as I always do, get a pen and pad, take notes, and the things that stand out to you or resonate with you, make sure that you write it down so that you can marinate and meditate on that later, okay? So we're talking about the ways that religion can limit your relationship.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I want folks to know, hey, I see you. I want folks to know that there is a difference between religion and spirituality. That's number one. What's up, son? My son just came in the house. There's a difference. There's a difference between religion and spirituality. And so the first thing that I really want to lift up to you in terms of how it limits, because so many people can get sensitive on this topic. What do you mean it limits? You know, I was raised in the church. I definitely
excellent topic. Great topic.
Yeah, I mean, because it's true. It's true. We get out of balance and out of order, and we think that certain things I have the answer for everything, and it just doesn't work that way. Oh, I know some folks are a little bothered by that. What you mean? You're trying to say God can't help and heal everything? Are you trying to say that, you know, we can't just take things to God in prayer? What I'm saying to you is that religion and spirituality are 2 different things. Okay. And so I want to say this is really kind of like the parameters or the framework. I really want you to think about everything that we say to you this evening through. This framework is what you need to be operating through. So if religion is different than spirituality, many times, because we've been raised a certain way, because we have certain rituals and certain symbols and certain practices that happen, whether it be in church, whether it be at the mosque, whether it be wherever, in the synagogue, whatever, right? We're just talking about formal structured religion. Then we attach on to those practices, and we attach on to those symbols, and we attach on to those processes and think that that is God. We think that those things are God, and those things in and of themselves, those practices are what we should be holding ourselves to and how we should be monitoring and evaluating whether or not we are growing. You can go to church every single Sunday. You can go to Bible study every Wednesday night. You can go to all the prayer breakfasts. You can serve all the food in the fellowship hall after church. You can do all kinds of stuff and not be growing individually and certainly not be growing collectively in your marriage or your relationship. And so the thing that I want people to understand is that oftentimes, and I'm gonna have to say, you know, y'all are feeling it over here on the Bland page. I'm gonna have to say this and keep it real. A lot of times it's women, because women, Black women in particular, make up the majority of the Black church, okay? And so a lot of times we are evaluating our partners. We're looking at, are they there? What they doing? You know, did they read a scripture? Did you pray last night? I didn't see him go in the room. Did he have any prayer time? Like, what we're doing all of this stuff. Did you get up at the time you're supposed to get up, sit down at the time you're supposed to sit down? And so we've become fixated, y'all. Listen to me. This is important. I'm getting hot as mug. We've become fixated on the rituals in and of themselves. And we become preoccupied with form and fashion, but we don't allow and understand that religion, this formal process, is a gateway, a pathway that can allow us to connect in with our spirituality, which is my own relationship with God. I hate to say this. I hate to say this.
What you about to say?
You can go to church and you can do all of these things. And I'm one of those, right? Because I enjoy and I connect into my spirituality in that way, right? But let me tell you something. You can catch the spirit and you can sit down and meditate, and you can stand back up at the time and read the scripture, and then you can sing the songs. You can do all of that. And you ain't a bit wiser. You haven't grown anymore. You haven't done anything different. You don't go home thinking any differently about your relationship with your spouse. The moment that you step out of the doors, you're just as mean. You are just as judgmental. You don't allow room or space for him. And, oftentimes when I find that people are frustrated, in their marriage, and particularly have a frustration around the spiritual connection they feel they have with their partner, it's because they are really focused on the form, on the activity, but he doesn't want to go. I mean, we hear that all the time, right? Especially with our brothers and sisters. We hear that all the time. He don't want to go. He doesn't.
And it's not just the church. Let's keep it funky. It's not just the church. No. When it comes to other religious institutions, you see this prevalent as well. And so, I don't want us to necessarily, cast a black eye on the Black church and say that, that's the only place in which you see this dynamic. The reality is that when it comes to religion itself, a lot of folks just ain't feeling it. A lot of folks are just having issues. A lot of men in particular are having issues with the institution of religion itself. And so there's some resistance, there's some hesitancy when it comes to actually engaging. So it's not just the church that we see this on.
That's true. And so at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, have you gotten a word from the Creator? Have you done any journaling? Have you gotten any quiet time on your own? What are your practices? If you're so focused on somebody else's practice and even so like attached to, did I do it right? I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. You have got to realize that most folks are plugging into a formal institution, church, synagogue, mosque, whatever, right? Because there is something that is going on with them where they want to connect in with the Creator, or there's an issue. Most of us are coming because we want help and healing, right? And so at the end of the day, you and the Creator can partner together and figure out what the prescription is. It is not about following all of these rules and making sure that you meet all of these marks and that you operate within the lines, coloring the lines exactly like this so you can get into heaven. And so many of us operate in that way. And so if we are operating in that way where we feel like someone is always watching us, this God in the sky who is watching us to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do, right? Then how is it that our partner can ever meet our standard? Because if we don't feel that we meet God's standard, there is no way that our partner can meet our standard, because you cannot give someone else what you don't have. And so at the end of the day, spirituality should be the goal. Religion should be the pathway or the gateway to get there. And when we don't do that, we let religion limit our relationship, because when there is growth or when there is progress or when there is some place in the relationship where your partner is starting to pick up pace, you don't notice it because it doesn't look like what you're used to seeing. It does not fit the framework that you are used to observing. And that is going to get you every time, people. I'm telling you, it's going to get you, because you're not going to be able to really know when growth is happening in you and in your partner or the relationship, because you caught up on religion and not focused on a true relationship with God and how that relationship that you have can also get into the relationship that you have with your partner. 100, Troy.
People loving your comments over here. One thing that I want to lift up is that when it comes to this whole piece about your relationship with God, I think that it's important for you to realize that people are watching. People are watching what you do. People are watching what you say. People are watching how you flow. And so, people are sometimes making their determination, their decisions in terms of what it is that they do in reference to their own relationship based off of what it is that you're doing and how you're flowing, how you're acting. Case in point, I ain't going to call no names.
Oh, I like this person's comment. Okay.
I'm not going to call no names, but what I will say is that a number of brothers have expressed to me that some of these church women be angry. Some of these church women be having issues. Some of these church women be in the church on Sunday giving praise and glory to God, but even while they're in the sanctuary, cussing out their children while they're in the sanctuary.
It's not funny, y'all.
No, I'm just saying that, again, people are watching how you're supposed to be witnessing your walk.
Oh my.
But if you're walking a particular way that really ain't resonating with me, because you got this thing jacked up in terms of who you are, identifying who you are, and the relationship that you have with the Creator, what you end up doing is essentially impacting negatively your children by going on them. And again, people are watching, y'all. People are watching you. So all I'm saying is that not just in relationship to your children, but in relationship to your spouse too. Sometimes when we have these relationship dynamics going on, the man will be sitting back and just watching you, and you're supposed to be all holier than thou. But when it comes to your relationship with me, you beefing with me every single day. It don't work like that, y'all. If you're supposed to be centering yourself with the Creator, if you're supposed to be finding a better way, if you're supposed to be establishing some sense of peace, some sense of a healthy relationship with yourself and with the Creator, that thing should spill over to your relationship with me. And if it doesn't, then I'm beginning to question whether or not that relationship that you have is really an authentic one that's benefiting you to the degree to which you think it is. Now, that might be judgmental. But again, people are watching you. People are watching how you witness in your walk.
My, how you witness. All right, y'all. So remember to focus on spirituality. Don't focus on religion. And for some people, they think those words are interchangeable, and they are not.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you need to make sure that you're focused on your particular relationship and not all the form and fashion. We're not hating on the form, not hating on our traditions, right, and our rituals, but we want to make sure we understand what's what. We have to make sure we understand that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and jump this thing off with number one here. Number two. Number two.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna hit that one. I'm gonna hit that one right there. Number two. So the way in which religion limits your relationship with your partner is simply by not going. Simply by not going. And let me make this a little bit more concrete. So and I'm gonna use myself as an example.
Well, ooh, yeah.
Here she go.
I mean, I just was wondering, y'all. You know, I can't call him out. You understand? You know, because we don't talk to y'all about stuff that we just thinking about. We talking to y'all about stuff we have experienced. Oh yeah. So I was wondering if he was gonna say anything about his own our experience and some of your, process.
Yeah. So
I'll be
speak
quiet.
to you about my process.
I'll be quiet.
And so I know I'm not the only one out here who's watching this live stream right here. But to be honest, when it came to my relationship, well, I can't even speak about my relationship with the Creator because, I mean, that's always been there. But I'll more so specifically speak about my relationship with the church. How about that?
Speak on it.
I'll speak.
I just spit. Sorry. Speak on it. I know there's plenty of people out there who have some knowledge and about this.
Who's had an on again, off again relationship with the church. And so for those who don't know, my name was not
with
as
the,
it
with the
currently
Black
is
church
right now.
specifically.
Yeah, with the Black church. Yeah, my name was not as it currently is right now. When I went through college,
what's your name is?
What? Ayize Kimathi Marel Ma'at.
What it used to be?
What?
Tony. What's up, Tony?
Somebody said that on the live stream.
That was his name.
A couple of times ago.
He changed his name, but go ahead.
But yeah, so in any event, so I changed my name, and I changed my name for a particular reason. And the reason was that, I wanted to affirm my African identity. I wanted to embrace who I was as a person of African descent. I was also doing some studying with the Asar Set Society, which is a traditional African system of spirituality. And my At comes from that system. And so my At, it means truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, balance, order, and peace. So back in the day when I was in school, I was doing some studying about ancient Egypt, also known as Kemet. And in doing my studying, I saw a lot of similarities between what I was taught at a younger age in reference to the Bible and what was actually in existence prior to the creation stories that existed in the Bible, which came from, ancient Egypt. And so in doing that studying, I started to do a whole bunch of questioning about religion itself. And I started to grow, I believe, in my understanding of spirituality. So I embraced this. And so during that time period, y'all, to keep it 100, I was like the church. I really was.
You were?
I really was.
You never told me
I
that
was upset. I was angry. I felt betrayed. I felt let down. I felt like, I was lied to. And trust and believe, I saw a lot of good work coming from the church. And my family is a church-going family. But based off of my understanding and what I began to learn and what I began to study, I felt like I had been let down.
Anybody?
I felt like I'd been betrayed. And I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I want to know.
I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of brothers out here who it's a lot of brothers out here who have a similar experience.
If you
a lot of sisters
drop
too.
a comment, because I really want to hear from folks. If you had some experience with this feeling.
Yeah, somebody said the Book of Kemet is the most stolen piece of literature in history.
All right, break it down.
Absolutely. And so again, I was angry with the church. And so, what that led me to do was basically divorce myself from the church and not necessarily want to participate in anything that was church related. I ain't want to deal with Jesus. I ain't want to deal with none of that. I ain't want to deal with Moses. I ain't want to deal with the Bible. I ain't want to deal with any of that. And so lo and behold, what's interesting is that life happens in cycles.
My.
It really does. I can testify. Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you for not leaving me out here hanging. So life leads you in cycles. It's a certain rhythm to life.
Yeah.
And so, my wife, she's a PK, y'all. She comes from a family where both of her parents were pastors. And essentially, I pulled her away from that, and we got into arguments, and I didn't.
You exposed me to some things, my brother, but I walked on my own.
You're gonna keep that clear. I ain't pull you
from anywhere.
I ain't pull you, but you walked on my own.
But I walked
that's the Leo right there, yeah.
I'm just saying,
That's the Leo.
I got woke, and I was like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah, you got woke, yeah. And so what?
Come on, keep on with the story.
So basically, after my experience of separating from the church, divorcing myself from Christianity, not wanting to be involved in it at all. I arrived at a space where I realized that there was definitely some value. I arrived at a space where I realized that, it's definitely something I can gain from the experience of being a part of the church, the experience of recognizing what that form of spirituality represented. So, I put my toe back in the water. I started to engage a little bit. My wife, she was pressing me out in terms of coming like every single Sunday. I was like, no, I'm not trying to come every single Sunday. But what I realized, in a way, it limited my ability to be in relationship with my wife. Simply in me saying no, it blocked an opportunity for me to step into her world and experience something that was important to her. Mm-hmm. Again, it blocked an opportunity for me to come close to her and connect with her on something that she considered to be valuable to her. Mm-hmm. And so if I had not realized that this was something that was important to her and reimmerse myself in Christianity or in that form of spirituality, then I wouldn't have been able to connect with my wife the way I do now in terms of, going with her more frequently than I used to. Mm-hmm. So again, it gave me the opportunity to connect.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Anytime we get into a black and white situation where we make something bad and we make something else good, we make a church good, and everything else bad. We make, because the world is bad, or we make the church bad. They just, taking advantage of everybody, and we just need to get out here and just go in nature and don't deal with no churches because all the preachers is evil. Mm-hmm. Like anytime we do that, it's much more easy. Is that the way to say it? It's much easier for us to be able to navigate and negotiate that premise, that concept, because then I don't have to like engage in something. It's like, am I going to engage in, working for the government when they are responsible for so much tragedy, but yet there is so much opportunity? Am I going to engage in dealing with places of power and places of healing? But at the same time, I got to watch and I got to make sure that I'm using discernment. You will always find that it's easier to step out and make something black and white and just be done instead of engaging in very real places with real people and have real relationships where people are not just black and white, but they're all kinds of shades in gray. And that is what it really looks like when it comes to religion and when it comes to spirituality. And so we can't get into a place where any partner is just limiting what the other partner is bringing in terms of their experience of God. So here my husband talks about his experience of the church and the Black church specifically, but I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is that your partner is experiencing. When they talking to you and they telling you something about how they experience something or they're being drawn a certain way, you need to be able to see them. Because when your partner does not feel seen, when your partner does not feel heard, that's a danger. That's a danger to the relationship. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3. All right, guys. Number 3 is here. I want you to pay attention to this. Lord, help me get this point. Yeah. Sex. That's what we're talking about. Sex. Let me tell you something. Sex has been limited, has been completely
eliminated.
Taken,
sometimes eliminated.
Taken, and just thrown out, made into something else. Sex has been so minimized, modified. I'm trying to think of another word. Imagine that. I just made that joint up. By persons who think, and I'm going to talk about women because I'm a woman, that I'm not supposed to really talk about sex. I can't say the word. I'm not supposed to really get into all of that. I am a good girl. And so, and if I'm not a good girl, that's where I'm trying to go. That's what I'm trying to be. I don't want to have real talk. I don't want to talk about an orgasm. I don't want to talk about, the fact that I'm not getting pleasure in my relationship and how is it that I can get that? I can't do that. So many people come to us and they're people of faith, but they don't want to talk about their stuff in the church. They don't want to talk to a minister because they have a certain concept or a certain kind of understanding of what they will be met with. And what I want to tell you is this goes back to what I talked about in terms of the difference between spirituality and religion. At the end of the day, everybody's a person. We all people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to tell myself that. I go into certain environments, I might get a little intimidated, get a little anxious. And I just had to say, wait a minute, Iyanna, you a person. You got fingers and legs and eyes, and they a person too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all people. So even when you go to persons who are in leadership positions and who are persons of faith, ministers, pastors, and so forth, you can go and you can open up your heart and be able to share as you feel necessary so that you can get some insight and some wisdom. But at the end of the day, your relationship with the Creator is yours. And so you can take what you need to take, and you can leave on the table what you need to leave on the table. You can bring some things into consideration, and you can say, no, that's not mine. That's from another day, from another thought process. I'm not really with that. That's not how I flow. What I'm saying to you is that you do not have to take in all of this stuff, all of these messages that do not empower you, that do not bring out the best in you sexually in your relationship. If you have a hard time with saying the word freaky, I want to be freaky with my husband. And I can't say that because it's Sunday. Or I can't even say freaky. I can't say sex. Or I have to kind of split myself in two. I can have that talk when I'm with my girls or when I'm with my man, but I'm not having that talk with my church folks because I have to split that person in two. That is dysfunctional. That is dysfunctional. You should be able to bring your whole self, your whole wholesome self, and wholesome means that you bring your freaky self. Do you understand? Wow. So you should be able to bring all of that. So church and religion specifically can limit your relationship with your partner and can really hold you back when you are trying to measure up to a standard that you never set to begin with, that should not be set. And you, at the end of the day, should be figuring out what is real for you as it relates to your relationship with God and as it relates to your relationship with your partner. Stop trying to look outside of yourself. That's the bottom line. Stop looking outside of yourself for answers that are already in you. That's the bottom line. I mean, that's really for real. We can close it up. That's a class. That's a wrap. That's it. At the end of the day, religion is a process. It is a practice. It is a gateway. It is a bridge. But your spirituality is about you and God. And you've got to be able to lead with that, knowing that you and God are ultimately in partnership, prescribing what you need, what medicine you need to heal, and what medicine you need to go to a higher level. And so wherever you find yourself, it is not these external places and pieces that are going to heal you. It is you and God in partnership doing this thing together as you flow in the religious space.
So are you saying that sometimes God might prescribe that you do it for the D?
No.
And that you do it for the P?
Moving on. I think he's gonna find an opportunity. Do y'all even know he's talking about the D and the P, that daggone challenge?
I mean,
all right.
I mean, that's right. Now I wanna
really,
pause
that's
right
a legitimate question right now.
No, I want to pause right here for a second and let's stay on this whole sex piece. I mean, you mentioned a moment ago, like there's some taboo words that sisters that wear the church hats might not necessarily want
to say. Church hats?
Yeah, they might not be, but
I'm so hot right now, Lord.
And so I told this sister right here, you're gonna be burning up doing that. She had the fireplace on before we started, and I'm like, "What are you doing, Joe? What are you doing?"
It's these lights.
I'm actually glad you're hot right now.
Oh, you hate me?
I am.
Okay.
I'm really glad.
I know you are.
But no, so you know it amazes me how, you know, when we work with couples, and again, we said this early on, but we're both therapists. We work with couples. I think I dropped a link somewhere on this right here. And if you find value in this live stream right here, please share. And
thank you, Marnell, Melinda. I see you just shared. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And so y'all, we got to liberate ourselves when it comes to our inability to express ourselves sexually. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it without responsibility, but I think that it's important that when it comes to you and your spouse, that you recognize that that's your bedroom. That's your bedroom that is supposed to be blessed by God. And so whatever you do in your bedroom, handle your business.
But honey, here's the thing. A lot of people don't feel liberated to be able to handle their business by themselves. You know, people don't feel comfortable doing something like masturbating, like being able to understand their bodies through that personal touch time. Write that down in your notes. PTT, personal touch time. It's okay. Ooh. Right? Like who does that? I can't do that, right? But yes, like my pastor on here said, my sister said, and Nika said, sex is sacred.
Yeah.
It's sacred. So we've got to get it out of the garbage. We got to get it out of the gutter, right? And we got to get it out of this place of, oh, no, we don't talk about that. It's always really funny to me. And it's usually like older folks, you know, 50s, 60s. And we'll be, you know, it'll be something, I don't know, like we may be talking about something and then they'll be like, you know, and they won't say this, they won't say sex.
Yeah.
Like, and you know how.
It's a generational thing.
But it's a generational thing. And so we've got to be able to, that's right, Tanisha, PTT, personal touch time. We've got to be able to move forward and challenge ourselves. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that we all don't come with some individual issues that keep us feeling kind of rigid and uncomfortable, but I'm saying You can't give nothing to your spouse that you ain't gave to yourself. I cannot teach this man how to give me the orgasm of my life if I don't know how to do it myself. Well, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. So when any good sex therapist helps a couple to be able to tune into one another, the pathway to that is for the individuals to be able to get familiar with their own bodies. You know, to get familiar. My hair is a mess. To get familiar with their own bodies and to be able to get into a place where you get comfortable being able to just explore yourself. You know, and sometimes it's, you know, a little awkward, right? But if you can do it by yourself, trust and believe, you can do it with your partner. And so you got to be willing to do that. We got to take the taboo off of sex. We got to lift up that PTT, personal touch time, so that we can make sure that we are getting the best of what God offers through the sacred science of sex.
And giving the best.
And giving the best. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I'm telling you, 99% of it is mindset.
That's true.
99%. You might not have no good technique. You might not know what you're doing. You might be like drooling and stuff when you kiss. Oh, yeah.
Hold up.
Can we try that story?
You just gonna put me on Front Street like that.
Well, we told this story before, like lots of times. It's funny.
Okay.
You don't want me to tell it?
I don't care. You can tell it.
Back in the day, look, I just did that, John. Like I knew I was gonna tell it. Back in the day, y'all. Oh, thank you. So my hair is beautiful. Thank you, Nika. So look, back in the day, I'm just gonna say this real quick. And look, this is an example of how you can push through and you can get through these awkward spaces where there's a disconnect sexually, right? Now, this is in terms of intimacy. This is not sex per se.
It wasn't sexual.
You know, and this was. I mean, this is pre-marriage. We were young. We were high school sweethearts, right? So, you know, he was still learning how to use his tongue. Oh. And so we were kissing, but when we used to kiss, y'all, and I have to say, I was not a kisser. You know, my husband has turned me more into a kisser, but I was not into kissing so much. But he was. But this man kissed, and every time we would kiss, you know, right here, y'all see this part of my cheek when we were done, and there'd be like drool like all up my cheek. Yo, and I was like, for a long time, I was like, what is going on? Okay, he was not a grown man. Okay, he was a you know, young buck back then, right? But you know, the point is that joint, about the 25th time that spit came down and up around my ear.
Around your ear?
You know, so I was like, this is just ridiculous. I gotta tell him about. I gotta tell him like, babe, like you need to swallow or something. I don't know. When you're kissing, you know what I'm saying? And I gave you that feedback, right? It was a sensitive moment, but I think I did it well. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember what I said. The point is that somebody said, bless his heart. And the point is that we were able to get through something that seems small because we're able to be transparent and talk about it. But imagine in the bedroom for you, if we're talking about something like that, or you're talking about something else in terms of your sexual intercourse and interplay, how intimidating that can be, and how sensitive that can be. And so many people say, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to hurt her feelings, right? There's all these things that come into play. What I'm saying to you is that religion can even limit you in that way, so that you don't feel that you even have permission to speak up and say what you want. Get your needs met. Advocate for yourself and understand that it is not only your divine right in marriage, it is your duty. It is your duty to do that, so that you make sure, not down the ear. Yes, down the ear, Tanisha. It's funny. It's your duty to make sure that you are doing everything you can in all the ways that you can to elevate your love and your relationship. And that means if you're elevating your love and your relationship, that means you need to be elevating two things. Your strategy and your skill.
Yeah, we all have
your strategy and your skill. You can't be elevating just on this joint, listening to us, and then they ain't got no strategy, no skill, ain't getting better at it. Where are your skills? Where is your strategy? Right? I need more skills. What's your strategy to do that? Be intentional. Be intentional. And that's how you're going to be able to overcome.
Yeah, we all have to be taught how to swallow. So, you know, when
you're just a character. You're a character.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Go ahead. Do the next one.
All right. So when it comes to this whole limits in the relationship piece, y'all, you know, one thing that I want to lift up is that, you know, it's important that you don't look at other people in the church and then compare yourself to other people that's in the church or whatever spiritual institution that you're a part of. that right there will limit your relationship with your partner. You know, if you find yourself in a space where you're always comparing the other person or another couple to what it is that you're doing, then you're going to come up short. You might look at us and say, oh, they so bomb, they so laffy daffy and so lovey dovey and they want to kiss and she got jokes and all that type of stuff. But the reality is that you need to put one foot in front of the other and work on you. Unless you're working on you, you can't work on us, but you can work on you.
And we be working.
Yeah, we do. We do be
this
working.
Man, let me just be clear. I got to just public service announcement. I'm for real, seriously, public service announcement. I just want people to know that, you know, because people do that. You don't just do it with us, you do it with other people that you see, right? Kind of, what's that word? What's the word when you hold on. When you, wait, don't say nothing.
Yeah, that word.
Romanticize. Woo! Romanticize. We
rolling your wine. You finished the glass?
Shut up. So we romanticize certain people and situations and things that we see. And the reality is that this man makes me work hard. I am in places where I am really digging deep and I'm not having a good time. You work hard and you dig deep and you ain't having a good time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want you to understand that every part of this process of being in a relationship is something that will challenge you, that will make you happy, that will, make you feel good, but it is work. And we have to just recognize that and just know it comes with the territory. Yes, it's empty, y'all. It's empty, Anika. Okay, so.
I did that.
You did, okay. So here, wait, what was the one you just did?
I did that one.
What? Oh, you're comparing look, you didn't even give an example. So you're comparing, I just want to piggyback on what my husband said, yourself to other people. And I know that in the church, and I if I just be honest, can I be honest?
Please do.
Back in the day, I did a little bit of comparing. I was like, I wish my husband was a little more into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that he, I wanted him to be like, come on and be, on the men's committee and, fry some, well, you ain't gonna fry no fish, but sign the people up for the fish fry and, come and work with the young men, and my husband was doing this stuff. My husband was working with folks in the community. I mean, he is a therapist, right? And by training a social worker. And so he was doing that stuff, but I was like, dang, I want him to be more active, right? And so the thing is this, you might compare yourself and your relationship to other people, and other things that you see, but the reality is that you don't know. You don't know what it is that they're dealing with and what they're going through. You have to be able to sit where you are, sit in your seat, sit in your seat and understand that your seat is a divine seat that you're supposed to be sitting in so that you can grow what you need to grow and so that your partner can grow what they need to grow. And ultimately, fundamentally, at the end of the day, I can't tell you how many people we have counseled who come forward. And I feel like God sometimes is speaking to me through the people, not sometimes, a lot of times is speaking to me through the people that we counsel and coach. And people are coming and saying, my husband's all up in the church and he's on this committee and he's a deacon and he's doing this and that. But I don't get no time with him. I don't get any space with him. I don't have any opportunity to really can we date? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Can we get some time? Because you're all about everybody else except for your household. Do you understand? And so the thing that you are coveting, the thing that you are wanting and thinking that you want is not what it appears to be. So fundamentally, this whole piece of comparison, it is a thief of joy. And it will not take you to where you need to go. Sit in your seat. Sit in your seat and understand that the person that you have has come to you for a particular reason so that you can get a particular lesson, so that you can be particularly blessed in the way that you need to be blessed. So just remember that. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know you do as well, right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that was number 4. So number 5. Here we go. Leaning on religion. This is number 5, our fifth and final. All right. Leaning on religion instead of the relationship can decrease and or limit your intimacy. So what it is that you think you want is to be closer to your boo. You want to have this intimacy, this connection, so that as you move through your life and as you are going through the different environments you're going through, you in the grocery store, you at church, you with your girls, you wherever, I just got this connection with my boo, it's us against the world, right? You want that closeness, Who doesn't want that closeness, right? Who doesn't want it? And here is the thing. The closeness that you want, you have it in your mind in a particular way, right? You know, I had it in my mind in a particular way for lots of different ways, you know, lots of different issues in our marriage. You know, I wanted things to be specific. And so, for example, you might say, you know, in order for us to have this connection, we need to grow spiritually because we are believers and we need to make sure that we line up together. And so what that means is that we need to go to church every Sunday. You know, we got on some of this, right? We need to make sure that we show up for this, and this, because if we hit those marks, then oh my goodness, we'll be right. We'll be okay. And so if we just look at this whole piece of like every single Sunday, we need to be, you know, in church. And then your partner says to you, boo, what I would really like to do is, you know, is like one Sunday out the month, you know what I mean? Or one day out the month, you know, in likely a Sunday, right? Because we get 2 days off, whatever, right? You're working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. On a Sunday, I'd like for us to like, you know, go do something in nature. Can we go on a hike? Can we go, you know what I'm saying? Can we go out and, you know, just like take a walk and, you know, can we do something that's not really going to church, but something where we can kind of like connect in and, you know, just connect with each other. And you're looking at him like, we can do that after we get out of church. We can do that after we finish going to the Lord's house, right? You have missed the opportunity to connect in with your man. You have missed the opportunity to connect in intimately. Because what he has told you is that there is a different way that he'd like to connect in. There is another pathway that he has. And what you think is another pathway that's just for him might be a pathway that you might be able to access something that is more than just a process or a ritual, but it has substance for you in a different kind of way. But you would never know it because you are not willing, because you are stubborn, because you have this process in place that meets a certain mark. And when it does not meet the mark that you, not even you have said to be okay, but somebody else put in place, your mama put in place, your auntie put in place, your pastor put in place, right? Everybody else except for you having a conversation with God is put in place, right? Then you're like, no, that don't measure up. That's not the type of household that we said we was gonna have. We not. So what I'm saying to you is this: at the end of the day, you want intimacy. You have to be flexible. You have to make room for your partner. You cannot have certain things in your mind and you're fixed on them in such a way that it blocks you from connecting again with your partner. At the end of the day, I mean, is it really about subscribing to certain parameters, or is it about true growth? That's what you have to be committed to doing, no matter what it looks like. Even if people raise their eyebrows at you and say, oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, well, y'all be careful.
Yeah, I mean,
what's that about?
That's real talk right there.
You
I
know?
remember when we were getting married. I mean, at our wedding,
I'm about to pass out.
That's what you get.
Go ahead, whatever.
At our ceremony, we one of the officiants, he said that the first Bible is nature, and that stood out to me in the sense that, you know, he was essentially honoring the fact that, you know, everything that we see was put here by the Creator. And the Creator created nature in such a way where it was divinely orchestrated, and it's in such harmony and synchronicity that, I mean, really, if you look to nature, you got the blueprint for how you need to operate and live your life. And so I really respected when he said that. And you know, I think that it's another way or a different way doesn't necessarily mean that you're being a deviant to the way that your partner necessarily wants to do. So you need to be open and willing to embrace more than one way and be flexible, because again, your partner's route might not be your route. And if you're finding yourself in a space where you're closed off to what your partner is interested in, then that's definitely going to damage the relationship. You know, if they don't feel like they have a voice, if they don't feel like they're welcome, their mindset, their interests are allowed in the relationship, then again, it's going to put them in a space where they don't necessarily want to engage. And so if you can't make room for them, why should they make room for you?
Oh my.
And if you can't make room for them, are you really making room for God?
Oh my. Woo, that was good. That was good. So guys, at the end of the day, none of this stuff is possible. You cannot push your relationship to the next level, whatever level that is. You cannot do it if you do not start making sure that you are holding yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable for the progress that you say you want to make. hold yourself accountable for the kind of progress that you say is really, really important for your relationship. How do you hold yourself accountable? I said it earlier. You need strategy and you need skills. What's your strategy? If somebody asks you, me and I usually saw you in the street, you was like, oh, we've been seeing them videos. Oh, yeah. I'm like, how's that coming for you? How's that working for you? It's good. We've been really, just learning a lot. Oh, okay, what's your strategy? What you gonna say? What's your strategy? What skills are you trying to gain? What skills are you increasing, right? Because it's really, really easy to kind of talk and say, that's good, yeah, and that makes sense. But it's a whole nother level to make sure that you are very specific about what you are doing so that you make sure that nothing comes in between you and your creator and nothing comes in between you and your sweetheart. At the end of the day, you have to be intentional. All right, guys.
Well, hold fast. Before we jump off, real quick, let's look at some of these comments.
We got some crabs over on the island.
Yeah, I know we do. I Thursday, we about to watch.
I smell my crabs. Yeah. We about to watch Queen Sugar up in here.
So I see. So LaWanda over here on YouTube, she said, "I know someone who decided to leave and divorce their spouse because when issues and disagreements occur, the spouse would say, let's pray on it. Let's seek counsel from the pastor, etc." So I guess she was lifting that up because they weren't necessarily turning towards their partner.
Well,
I'm trying to come to some resolution with the issue.
But here's the thing. The piece is this, it's nothing wrong with praying on it. No. And it's nothing wrong with seeking counsel from your pastor. But, I was just counseling someone earlier today who was talking about their struggle with depression. And what she said is, I asked her about, like, who do you have to support you? And she said, my family is there, but they're very religious. And she said, they say pray on it. And like I'm struggling. Like this ain't like I can pray and I do pray, but that's not the end all be all. Like there's got to be more. And what we know about prayer is that we have to have action. That you've got to be moving and doing something in partnership with God. You got to be doing that. So people miss each other because she said, the partner was like, look, I'm done. You just want to go pray and talk to the pastor. But we've got to be open to other perspectives at the same time.
Yeah, I like this comment right here where Dalia Yehuda said, you can take it to God, but don't just leave it with God and do nothing else.
Oh my, she preaching. You can take it to him, but don't leave it. Don't drop like, boom, there you go, God. I'll be back in a couple of weeks to see what you did with that. It don't work like that. You need to be intentional and you need to have strategy. So I think that this is, thanks. I'm so happy that people are getting something from this. I think at the end of the day, there are so many things that can hinder us. It's a blessing to be on one accord spiritually. And it's a real blessing to be in the same religion and be able to kind of identify and connect with each other in that way. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, you have to willing, Lord have mercy. You have to be willing to recognize, not just in your intellect and not just in what you say, but in your practice and your actions, even if you feel differently, that no one has the monopoly on perspective. Nobody has the monopoly on perspective, that there's always another way and there's always something that you can consider. And even if you're considering something and you say, I'm not for that, what is it? What is it that you're supposed to be getting from your partner? That's the one you chose, the one that's for you. What is it that you're supposed to be getting from them, right? It's not always about being convinced of anything. It's not always about submitting to some other way. Sometimes it's about a different elevation in your understanding, even as you continue on your path. And then also, last but not least, recognizing that as you all move forward spiritually as a couple, you have your individual paths. And we've got to let people be on their path. I had to learn to let Ayize be on his path. That's what I had to learn to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You had to learn to let me respect this man on his path and respect me on mine. And I'm going to tell you, I was a judgmental somebody.
Yes, indeed.
Lord have mercy, I was. But God was not through with me. Oh. And God is not through with you or your boo. So we hope that this has been of help to you all this evening. We're getting ready to go and do our connection thing. At the end of the day, y'all, none of this stuff will make any sense to you. It will not actually attach to your relationship, to your mindset, or to your practice. It will not do anything in you if you do not apply it and if you are not intentional. So I hope that you take something, if just one thing, and apply it. Do something different. Be intentional. Until next time, we won't see y'all next week.
We might do something on Wednesday.
It's Thursday.
We might do something on Wednesday.
I might be cooking on Wednesday. I know
we might do something. I don't know. Y'all let's see. We pop up. We're gonna pop up with CPT.
Yeah, you know, we be on this Jones CPT like a month. Pray for us. All right, y'all. I'm so glad y'all thought this was good. We appreciate the feedback. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
All right, y'all. Peace.